Hey, welcome to Chatting with C. I am Miss C. Hey. Hope you're having a great day. Just wanted to talk today a little bit about something that has really helped me deal with the disappointments in life. Or the bad stuff, the stuff that we consider bad. And usually we only consider something bad when it's like not going according to how we had it planned in our mind, right? We're like, oh my God, that's terrible. That happened. Oh, it didn't work out the way we thought. So now we think it's bad. And one of the things that I had learned to do maybe about a year ago that I do now that comes very natural to me that I think a lot of people don't realize in growing and in healing and in becoming your best self and all those things and getting to that place of like peace and stuff is being able to reframe your thoughts and your mind. And when I say that, I mean like basically when something happens, the first thing we do is we go straight negative, right? Like we go all the way to the furthest, darkest, most negative place we could possibly be about a situation. And we get all wrapped up in it. We get all caught up in it. And it's terrible. He was terrible. She was terrible. That place was terrible. F them, F that, right? Natural reactions. Those are totally fine reactions to have. No one is saying that you shouldn't have them or that they're wrong because they're real, right? They're valid. They're or how you feel about a particular situation. But what happens though is when we do that, and we leave it at that, then we get stuck there. And when you're learning and you're growing, being able to change your thoughts is going to be so important. And by that, I mean, let's just say a job ended. Okay, I've dealt with that before. So let's just say it wasn't voluntary. That happens. And you are really sad. You're mad. Oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my bills? You start worrying, your anxiety builds. You're day 2 or 3 without anything to do. You're looking for a job. You're depressed now. Now you're going through your brain about everything you didn't do at that job, everything you did do. How could they? Right? Like all of these thoughts are happening and going on. And instead of focusing on all of the negative, being able to ask yourself, okay, why did this happen? What lesson am I supposed to get from this? What am I supposed to get out of this? What good things came of this? What did I bring to this particular situation, right? What did I bring to this job, to this role? Because you being there served a purpose for them, much bigger than just the fact that you helped generate money or whatever it was you did for the company. You being there brought a purpose, served a great purpose, whether you made a great friend while you were at that job, if you helped somebody else through a tough time at that job, if you helped them, go from domestic to international, whatever it is, right? Like you served a purpose. Who you are as a person brought value to that company, into that job at that time. And so it's important that you focus on those things too. But then also, okay, so why did this job end? What's going on? Sometimes it ends because we inadvertently don't realize that you've been asking or wanting to do something different. You've been wanting to spend more time with your kids. You're tired of the commute and you didn't want to keep driving. And even though you were doing it every day, your heart and your mind were really someplace else. And sometimes the universe go ahead and give you what you've been asking for. So it shouldn't be necessarily a bad thing, right? That the job ended. It's like, oh, well, I did want to spend more time with the kids. Oh, that's why you're at this place now, right? Being able to retrain your thoughts and ask questions to say like, why is this happening? What is the next step? What was I supposed to get? It gives you an opportunity to really grow. It gives you an opportunity to really look at the things that needed to happen so that when you get to the next level or to the next space that you're going into, you're going to take the knowledge, the experience that you had here, and it's going to help you to make it in the next space. It's going to help you to be able to sustain the next thing. If you are trying to manifest a business or something then you at this job were supposed to get something out of that, right? You were supposed to get something. And then when you get ready to go and open your business, something that you got from here is going to help. And there's going to be things that are difficult for us that we have to deal with all the time. But being able to take the time to really ask yourself, why or what's going on, or, just really being able to look at it from a different angle is going to really change your outlook. And what happens is the more you do that, the more that you actually allow yourself to have those negative thoughts, but then immediately allow your brain to go into, okay, what did I get from this? Okay, what purpose did it serve? Okay, what did I do? Who was I? Okay, perfect. Okay, how did that work into that? Your brain will automatically start to do that the more that you do it. It's crazy wild, right? You have to actually train your mind to do this. You have to actually consciously see yourself going down the spiraling down, and stop yourself and make yourself say, okay, hold on a minute. Why? What's going on? What am I supposed to be getting? Is this a test? Oh, that's right. I responded the exact same way again. Damn it. Okay, so that came up again because I was supposed to be seeing if I could change my response to that. I didn't. That's okay. The universe is going to give it to you again so that you eventually get it. The same way we're training our mind to do this, the universe is going to keep testing you with certain stuff to see until it sticks, right? Until it really sticks with you that this is how is best for you to handle this or to move in these particular situations. And so if you're thinking about it from that space, you're allowing yourself to be able to grow within the things that don't work out the way that we want, and recognizing that even though it didn't work out the way that we thought it was going to, it still served a great purpose. And being able to see what that purpose is, sometimes you don't see it immediately. Sometimes you have to keep going through stuff, but you're at least asking the question so that the universe can actually reveal it to you, so that you can actually figure out, oh, okay, so the next time I go into a job and they say this, that, and the third, I'm going to actually put my boundaries down in the beginning and say no. Right. Well, that's going to spare us all a lot of time, because if I say no and they're like, well, we need that, and I'm like, no, then there's no sense in me continuing working here. I can go ahead and let that go now and then keep on pushing, rather than fighting with these people, getting miserable, getting drained and everything else for the next 2-3 years, not having any joy or excitement because they are expecting something, you're doing something you don't want to be doing because you didn't set boundaries, and now everything has gone all shit and haywire and what's going on. Sometimes it's to teach us stuff. And if we take an opportunity to look at those things, we'll be able to see what we were supposed to get. And then you'll start to be able to see like, oh, okay, I see why that didn't work out. That makes sense. Or, okay, that didn't work out now, but if I give it some time, it could work out in the future. And those would be opportunities that this time I would handle it differently, like dating or relationships. Every relationship you get into, whether it's a 10-year one, if it's a 2-year one, if it's a 6-month, 1 month, whatever relationship that you get yourself into, you're learning something about yourself, right? Even though you don't end up with the person, or even though it ends on a negative note, maybe, you still get something out of it. And yes, maybe they probably did some shit that really pissed you off. And yes, they probably really do have some stuff that they need to work on and figure out, because that was just way out of pocket or whatever. And then there's also stuff that you did, right? And there's also stuff that you needed, or that you were supposed to learn, or that you're supposed to get, so that the next time you get into a relationship, you're able to retract some of those lessons and experiences and use them. Like communication, effectively communicating. Communication is opening your mouth and talking to somebody in the general sense. Obviously there's body language and all that stuff, but in a general sense, you're opening your mouth and you're communicating to somebody. If you're not a good communicator, every relationship that you go through is going to have problems because you're not a communicator. And until you get to a place where you start to actually communicate, you're going to keep running into problems. You're going to keep being tested. And even when you realize like, oh, okay, I need to start talking to people. I can't just shut down and be quiet. I can't just not talk to somebody for 3 or 4 days when I'm in a relationship. Like, I have to be able to effectively communicate to them. Once you realize that and you become aware, the universe is going to put you in a situation. You're going to attract somebody and you're going to get tested. You're going to get in a relationship. You're going to like the person. Things are going to be going well. And now here comes opportunity where you need to communicate. And you're going to either do one of two things. You're either going to communicate, like all the stuff you've learned and realize, okay, I want this relationship to work. I'm going to try it differently. I'm going to try to see if I can actually communicate with this individual and see what happens. Or you're going to do the same thing that you normally do, which is run and hide, again, if that's what you do, or yell and scream, whatever your form of communication is that's been negative and hasn't really helped you along the way. You're going to continue to do that, and you're going to run into a problem again in that relationship. It's probably going to end pretty quickly. The person's going to get out, and they're going to be like, no, because they're also learning something too. And their thing could be, you don't have to sit around and let people talk to you any kind of way. You don't have to deal with people who don't know how to communicate. That could be their thing. So they're going through something too that they're learning as well, as are you at the same exact time. And so if you're just going into it and being like, oh, well, F them people and F her and all women are trash and all men are trash because every time I get with one, it's always some BS, and you're not paying attention to what you're supposed to be learning and getting out of them, they're going to continue to seem like a stress and a struggle for you. But the real thing is that there's a purpose in them. And if you take the time to sit back and say, okay, so why didn't that work? Or what was I supposed to get? Okay, when did that break down? That situation broke down as soon as we got into the first argument and I didn't communicate. Damn it, I'm still working on communicating. Whoa. It's not earth shattering. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's just where your areas that you're still working on, and we're all still working on stuff. But if we don't take the time to really reframe our thoughts, then we carry those negative thoughts into new situations and into everything else. We're not growing, and we don't allow other people to be who they need to be for us in our lives, right? Because if you're being tested, let's say with a communication, and it's time for you to evolve, and it's time for you to grow and become a better communicator, you've learned and you're learning, the universe will put somebody in your life who is good at communicating, someone who is patient, someone who is very compassionate and understanding. And when the opportunity comes for you to communicate, you're going to feel more safe and more secure and more comfortable communicating because you've been placed with a partner who can help you actually understand and see and recognize how beneficial that is for you, because that's their purpose in your life. So when you're able to reframe your thoughts, you're able to see things from a different perspective, and you're able to appreciate things from a different perspective. And the more you do it consciously, like the more you take the time to do that in those even in good situations, like you still want to know, like, okay, what worked well? Okay, that went really, really good. Okay, what happened? Okay, ooh, I got that. Ooh, I mastered that. Ooh, that happened. And then I did that. Like, even in those situations, being able to be able to change your mind, to actively think about things from a different perspective is going to change your world, because it changes how you look at stuff. It changes how you deal with stuff. It changes how people deal with you. And it allows you to keep growing in areas and in spaces so that the communication, if you become a better communicator, you're going to become a better communicator in your career, a better communicator with your family, a better communicator with your kids, with your spouse, with your friend, right? So whatever it is you're working on, the more that you're looking at it from a different perspective and being positive and trying to really allow it to teach you something, as opposed to being, you were bad, or it's just not for you. Well, it's just not for me then. I guess it's just not for me. Instead of those attitudes, it's being able to really change your mind on a consistent basis to really open up to get you to the next level. So, and like I said, the more you do it, you actually have to consciously do it. If you're not a person who actually does that, you really are going to have to work on doing it. Like when something happens, being able to step back and say, okay, what am I supposed to be getting from this? Okay, what did I do in this situation? Could I have done something differently? Being able to do that consistently will now train your brain to do that automatically when something is happening. And I feel like it's huge. It has helped me tremendously. Yes, I can sit and be sad and mad and upset about all kinds of stuff that happens or doesn't go the way that I think. But when I take a minute to really sit back and look at, like, okay, let me look at this. What was I supposed to get from this? Oh, that because I was working on this, and this. And I've been saying that I've been wanting to do this, and this. And now here was an opportunity, and I actually did it. It didn't go well. Damn. Oh, but that's not me. That's the other person. They weren't ready to receive. I was good. So, okay, so I'm being shown that I have actually understand that and I can actually do it. And so in the next situation, oh, okay, see, like now the pieces work and you feel much better about a particular situation because it's very easy to be like, oh, F her, F that. Oh, no, So reframing how you're processing your thoughts and your mind is going to be key, and the more you do it, it's just going to become automatic. It's just literally going to happen in every situation on its own, and then you're going to be able to continue rolling in life, right? You're going to be able to ride those waves a little bit better. It doesn't mean that everything's going to be perfect, because nothing is. However, it does mean that you're actually able to see things from a different angle. And that's so important. Like, I think it's a gift to be able to do that because I can see both sides of any situation. I can, and I say that all the time. But even in that, I can see both sides of stuff, but even when stuff is happening to me directly and it doesn't go the way that I want it to, I literally had to start making myself think about it differently. Like, really think about it and then internalize it into the sense of, okay, how does it really affect me? How is it going to help me be better? How is it an opportunity for growth for me? What did I get out of that that's going to help me, right? Because all of the things that are happening around us are intended to help us in some way, shape, or form. And if we're changing our minds to look at it from that aspect, we are going to be evolving and not even realizing it because it's going to be happening naturally. And it's going to feel so, so good. I promise you. So I hope that helps somebody today. If something bad is happening or going on, try to take a minute to reframe your mind, to look at it from a different angle and really go deep. Once you start asking why, it's going to say, something's going to be revealed. And then you say why again. And once you get those whys going and you keep going and digging and digging and digging, oh my God, it's like, pew. Oh, it's so exciting. I think it's exciting. Yeah, it gets a little like healing and dealing with stuff it can feel overwhelming sometimes because it's like, oh my God, another lesson. Oh, another thing to need to piece together. But it's all, if you pay attention to it, it all works. It's all working together. It's all helping you get to what you really, really want in life. And that's why it's so important that we don't stop and that we keep going no matter what. Because ultimately, all the work you're putting in is going to show up at one point and it's going to be like, oh my freaking gosh. I mean, literally it is. And we're going to be doing work all the time. We're going to be doing work the rest of our lives on ourselves and becoming better and becoming wiser and experiencing new things and handling things in a different way. Even the way you handle something today, you're going to handle it totally different in 10 years because things have changed. You've grown. And that's accepted or expected and accepted. I mean, that's just part of life. And so the ability to train your mind to see things from a different perspective and really try to find those goods and those positives is going to be life changing. So I hope that helps. I hope that you have a great day, and I hope that you will try to reframe your mind today. Traffic, think a different kind of thought today. Did it just save me probably from that accident that's up the road? Oh my gosh. See, just even stuff simple like that can make a world of difference. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Have a great and awesome day, and I'll catch you later. Thanks for chatting with C.